Alright, hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Shaggy TV. This is my Ryze commentary. Yesterday I did my Warwick commentary, so today I'm doing my next commentary, which is obviously Ryze. I'm doing something a little different with this one. I had a couple people suggest. I was having a little trouble like commentating while playing, so I'd be playing, and when I was commentating, I would have trouble last hitting when I was talking, and then like if I concentrate on last hitting, then I wouldn't really be commentating, and I'd mess up on that. Like I'd say stuff I didn't mean to, or get names mixed up. So, what some people suggested was for me just to save the replay of the game and then just come back and commentate later, which is a pretty big no-brainer. But for some reason, I felt like I had to do it at the same time. I don't know, I was being an idiot. So, I actually did that. So I saved the replay of this game. I thought it. At first, I wasn't going to actually comment this game because we just kind of rolled them. I got a really good team on my low-level account. I'm pretty sure everyone on my team was a Smurf. So I got like a really, really good team. But our Nasus actually disconnected. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and play it. Our Nasus disconnected, so it's 4v5. So I think this is a really good game to not only show how to play Ryze, but talk about when you think you're going to lose, how CSing and just good play can carry you out of a almost for sure loss or a really bad disadvantage. Anyway, with Ryze, I choose boots and 3 health pots to start with him. Some people choose like they'll go the mana crystal or and the reason why I do that is so they can get more damage off of their Q or off their whatever build they choose first. I don't like this the build because I feel like the mana crystal 2 health pots just kind of strengthens your damage, but doesn't really give you that much sustain, and it doesn't really help a big weakness. I'm actually going to pause this real quick. It doesn't help you with your big weakness of Ryze, which is his movement speed at early levels. At level 30, a lot of people take movement speed quintessence on Ryze to be able to close gap, allow him to be able to last hit, get in, last hit, get out. His moves are really low range. I mean, if you look at his moves, they don't have a lot of range. And the reason why the movement speed helps him so much is because it allows him to get in, last hit with his low range, and then get out before he can be harassed, or allows him to harass before so he can get out. Normally, we actually had a jungler this game, which is very uncommon. So normally I would help my jungler with Wraiths if he's starting red, and then leash red for him. But he kept spamming in chat how he didn't want help. I think he was afraid I would steal the XP from him. Or if he was doing blue, I'd help him with wolves and leash his blue by standing here. You shoot it over and then walk back to your lane. With red, you stand here, shoot over, and go back to mid lane. It's really important that if you play mid lane, even at low levels, you probably won't run into jungles very often, but when you do, it's really important that you're leashing properly and you're giving your jungler a good start. It can really make the difference between good ganks and a good start, and him messing up and dying. Especially low level leashes are very, very important. Get this back started. Okay. So mid, I actually have a Nivea mid, which is a really funny lane because she's in low level champions, and the reason why I like Ryze so much is because at low levels, mid champions run out of mana super quick. They don't have the mana regen glyphs. They don't have the mana regen masteries. They don't have a lot of mana even to begin with because they're low level. So they run out of mana super quick. I mean, a couple Qs, a couple of any abilities will really just drain your mana. And Nivea's really relied on blue buff and that mana regeneration, so she can clear waves with her ultimate. So I feel like it's a poor choice at the low level, and she does it very well. I get a lot of help with ganks and stuff, but either way, she does it very well with her, and I think that's why. So Ryze really has that strength, and that's really one reason why we chose him for our new mid champion, was because he becomes really tanky and he doesn't suffer from the same mana problems because he builds a ton of mana. So really important, the important thing at the beginning of the game, I'm just kind of locking the camera here. Let me kind of unlock it and do this here. It's really important at the beginning of the match here is to make sure you're last hitting with your auto attacks and not last hit with your abilities. And the reason why you don't want to last hit with your abilities, even though I just did there, it is because you don't want to waste this mana, like we talked about earlier, doing damage to minions. You don't want to come up and Q a minion. You can probably only Q a couple. Let me go ahead and pause this real quick. you could probably only really queue a couple minutes before you run completely out of mana. The reason why you saw me actually use my abilities there was because I got to a point where I could only auto attack kill one minion, and then I would either lose the minion or have to cast a spell to do it. So that's really what you're saving your mana for, is either to harass or be able to get these last hits at the tower, or these split last hits where it's like, well, I can only hit one and I won't have time for my animation to kick in to be able to attack the other. So it's really important that you keep your mana safe for situations like that, or to harass. So here, I mean, it's kind of boring to watch this, but really this is the main thing about mid is farm. Even any low level, you just need to keep farming. Try to avoid harass and farm. I just want to speed this up just a little bit. I don't think anything drastic happens here. So here, like I said, we're just farming. I don't want to harass Anivia. The reason why I'm not trying to like harass her and punish her a whole lot is because with her egg, it becomes really hard to trade with her. I mean, her passive is when you kill her, she goes into an egg and then she comes back. So it's really hard to trade with her. You know, you come up, use your mana, you do a bunch of damage to her. Even if you manage to kill her, she's just going to come right back. And they also have a jungler, so I'm trying to play safe. I expect a gank by Nocturne if I try to be too aggressive. So I'm just making sure I last it early, secure these kills, and be able to get into the late game. That's where Ryze shines. Getting into the late game. And you can see, like right here, it's a really good example of like me. It's really hard. It's really hard to trade with her, because even if I kill her right now, like, she's still going to come back probably with more life than me. Also, I engaged into like a minion disadvantage, so it was really bad on me. So at the tower, last hit at the tower. Pause this real quick. Last hit at the tower. Okay, so last hit at the tower is really important, and a lot of champions that are really high level are good because they have the ability to last hit at the tower. I'm gonna take a drink real quick. But they're good. They're high level champions because they can safely last hit at the tower. It's always a big factor in how good a champion is. Champions like LeBlanc, for example, are really good in lane, but once they get to like last hit the tower, they're not as good. They fall off. Really good champions like Aurelia, for example, can just farm a tower the whole game, and then they come out of the late game super tanky and just shit on everyone. So that's where Ryze, he's one of those champions. He can easily last at the tower because all of his abilities have low cooldowns. I mean, his passive resets the cooldown on all of his abilities by 1 second for every spell cast. So it allows him to spam a lot. So even though I'm pushing my tower and it kind of looks like I'm in a tough spot, in reality, this is really where Ryze wants to be. It's really hard for Ryze to lose a lane because his ability of last hand tower is so good. So in case you don't, a lot of players don't know, for all the melee minions, they can take 2 tower hits and then you can auto attack and kill them. With AP champions, it's a lot harder to do that because your damage is a lot lower. So a lot of times with Ryze, I'll let the melee minion take 2 hits by the tower and then I'll Q. Which is your Q ability, is what I'm talking about, the overload. I'll overload to get the kill. For your ranged minions, it's usually 1 auto attack and then let the tower shoot once and then you can auto attack again and get the last hit. For Ryze, I usually auto attack, let the tower hit, and then I can overload. It's a way for me to be able to still last hit like I wasn't pushed by my tower. Here we get a pretty good gank and slow it down a little bit. This actually becomes staple. It makes our early game so good because of this. So I know I'm at a disadvantage here when I come into this fight. Like I know that like I'm at low life. So she is trying to kill me. This is the thing that lure players never do. Right? They see that they're low life and they just run away. They're just like, nope, I'm gonna die. I'm not chancing. I'm out. The best thing you can do at low levels is bait people into positions where they don't want to be in. So she sees, like, if you look at her, like Anivia, she thinks she can kill me. So she ignites me, and she's so focused on me, she's going to completely ignore this Yi who is completely destroying her right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to stay near her and allow my bind and my Q to do a lot of damage to her safely while playing in the bush and making sure I get out of range. So I'll play this a little bit slower and kind of see this fold out here. But as soon as I saw her come into her egg, I know she's fair game, so I come up to finish the damage. So we actually get a kill here. Yeah, so here comes Nocturne. So instead of just like running away completely, I think we actually get into a gauge here. not sure. This is one drawback against the playing replay. No, okay. Never mind. I go back here. Kind of fast forward here. With Ryze's items here, mana crystals or sapphire crystals, or they increase the damage of his of all of his Q and his W. So, mana is his primary stat. So we use these mana crystals to build into tanky items. We use the first one to build into a Tier Goddess. We use the first one to build into a Tier Goddess. We use the second one to build into a whatever it's called, Catalyst the Protector, and then the third one to build into the tanky Frozen Heart. And what this will allow us to do is become tanky and still do a ton of damage. So here I'm constantly getting harassed by Anivia, but I'm okay with that. Like, I don't mind to get harassed by her because she's so dependent on blue. I'm just kind of trying to make her waste her mana. You obviously want to be able to dodge the spells, but it's been a while since I did it. But again, I'm just kind of farming here, trying to dodge these, doing horribly. But she's focusing a lot on harassing me and kind of missing out on her CS. I think if we look at CS here, I'm at 24, she's at 20. Actually, she's not that far behind. I know later in the game she gets super far behind, but I guess at this point she's actually pretty good. Now here I'm trying to kind of hold my wave. What I mean by that is like, well actually, okay, I see the gank coming in. So I see Alistar coming up. And the thing about Ryze mid is he's very good at supporting ganks. His Rune Prison allows for successful ganks easily. So whenever you see someone come and gank like this Alistar, or whenever Yi came in earlier, we can use our Rune Prison to block the champion in the lane, and then allow the ganker to get full damage on Anivia. So here I'm just going to lock it down with Rune Prison. Alistar will come in, attack, knock up, do all the stuff, and then we should very easily get a kill. We also know that her egg is down, so this is a really good time to gank. So play this out a little bit here. Alright, so again, we just bust the Rune Prism out to try to secure our kill. Again, I'm low life, so I'm not going to run away from this fight. I'm not going to disengage this fight. I'm not going to be like, okay, I'm almost dead, I'm out. I know that I can play safely and play smart and be able to secure a kill here. Because her egg is down, I know I'm fine. So she's actually a pretty good player. You'll see her here. She'll shoot her Q over the wall here to try to hit me, but it's okay. I had vision, so again, I'm just staying long enough to get my spells off and playing with the bush here. Make sure I'm slow this down a little bit more. We got to ignite on her. Again, I'm trying to stay out of vision from these two players. So while I let Alistar kind of take the damage here. Now I'm not ever going to run completely back. If you watch, I see Yi coming. I'm just staying back enough, letting my cooldowns run out. So, want that Rune Prism to come back out. So I'll come out again as soon as my cooldowns are out. Make sure I buy in the correct target. Right now I see that, in my opinion right here, Vayne is the #1 target skill. So we get her first. I stay in the bush, wait for my cooldown. Really important. Same thing. So even though I was low life, even though I was at 250 life that entire fight, I still stayed with the fight. I stayed with my team. Ryze has a lot of utility, and if you're just constantly getting, a lot of champions have a lot of utility early game. Early game damages a lot. The damage does a lot more damage. The abilities do a lot more damage than what you think they do because everyone's at such low life. So it's always good to try to stay into the bitter end to help your team. I mean, there's sometimes you just can't win fights, and as you play, you'll understand those fights. But that was not a fight that we couldn't win. So I used Ryze's utility, his bind, his damage, to be able to stay in the fight and assist my team in those kills, which gave us a huge lead early game. And you'll see actually snowballs the game out of control for the other team. So with Ryze, the Tier Goddess is your most important item. The reason why is because as you're using abilities, you're getting mana. The more mana you get, the more damage your spells do. It also gives you a lot of mana regen. So you want to use this mana regen to be able to harass, be able to last hit, keep these stacks up with your Tier Goddess. The really cool thing is Tier Goddess cooldown is 3 seconds. So what that means is you can only get a stack of your mana every 3 seconds you use the ability. Your Q actually has a 3-second cooldown. So the way to remember that is you can get a stack from your tier every time you can Q a minion. So you kind of play them like a little bit like Nasus almost in a way. You just sit back and Q, get last hits with your Q. This is another reason why I like Ryze for newbie players, because he rewards last hitting with your abilities, where a lot of the other champions don't. They don't reward last hitting with your abilities unless you have blue. Ryze, however, gets stronger for every Q. Well, every Q cast with so here again, I'm just farming, just kind of passively farming. In a lot of low-level games, it's really the best thing you can do. If you have more farm than the other team, you're going to win. This game really shows that, but especially with Ryze, the more CS he has, the stronger he gets, and then he eventually gets to a point where he's just out of control. So here again, we're just securing another kill. This is, again, kind of boring to watch, but with your bind, you can easily secure a kill here. I just kind of, like I said, I want to make sure I got that last killing blow on Nivea to steal her blue. Ryze with blue is very powerful because it allows him to spam his ability even more, build more stacks with his tier. It's also why I build a mana pod on him a lot, because I want him to have mana. I want him to be able to just constantly get those tier about stacks. And so this is going to be a very really boring, kind of a fairly boring play. Has to speed up these passively farming. So as we talked about, sorry earlier, I kind of forgot the name of the items, but yeah. So here I get my catalyst, which is always my second item. The reason why is it gives you a little bit more sustain. It gives you life, which lets you outpoke your opponent in lane, and it gives you mana regen when you level up, health and mana regen. So it gives you a little bit of health to outpoke, mana for more damage, and sustain through your level ups. Also, don't be afraid to last hit with your W as well. It's a thing that I like to be a little cautious with, and I think there might be a gank or something coming up, but in this situation, I know I'm safe, so I don't last hit with my W if I need to. I never want to miss a CS, so I want to try to get a CS every time I can use Q to build those tier stacks. But if there's 2 split CS, like 2 minions about to die, I want to, even if I can't get a stack of tier, I don't want to sacrifice a CS for it. So here we're getting kind of passively farm. I'm going to keep speeding this up. Also, I just want to make note that I saw a Nocturne here, so I'm playing a little bit more safe when I'm taking this away. Again, passively farming. Here, again, I saw, I'm off the camera here. I saw Nocturne at Wraiths, and then he moved down to go towards bottom. So I know that he's on this side of the map. Like, I know Nocturne's at this part of his jungle. He's probably going to gank bottom. He'll actually be gank bottom now and then. I know that he's either going to gank bottom, or he's doing golems, or he's going up to do Braves. I know he's somewhere on this side of the map. Okay, so because of that, I'm going to play on this side of the lane. That way, it makes it a lot harder for him to gank. Vice versa, if I saw him on this side of the map for some reason, like I saw him doing wolves or something, I would want to be on this side of the lane. That way, if he's going to come gank, so let's say immediately after he does Wraiths, he went down this way. It looks like he's going to do golems. Maybe he's swinging around here to gank me. Okay, so if I'm on this side of the lane, it makes it a lot harder for him to gank me. He'll actually have to come all the way through here, and by the time I can see him and easily retreat through the brush, denying his vision. It's really, really important to do that, especially with Nocturne. If you can stay close to the brush, it really makes it a lot harder for him to use his ultimate. If you can get in the brush before he can get vision on you, you can actually escape his ultimate. That's why I'm kind of playing on this like weird left side of the lane here. Again, I'm not going to be aggressive on Nivea. I'm pretty sure at this point I have a lot more farm than her, 59 to 34, yeah. So at this point, obviously I have a ton more farm than her. I'm not going to say I'm super strong, but I'm definitely stronger than her right now. But I don't want, I'm maybe 2 levels up on her now. Look at it. I'm not. Slow this down real quick. This is a perfect example of what I was talking about before. I know the Nocturne was here. We just talked about that. I knew he was here. And if I was playing super aggressive on Nivea here, or if I was on this side of the lane, this probably would have resulted in the kill. But because I play passively, I know he's around. really annoying sound coming from watching this all here. I could easily get away from this game. Here, I think here I'll hold the lane here, so this is something I want to talk about, hopefully. I think I do this here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I do. So here, what I'm doing here is I'm taking the minions, which is referred to a lot of times as holding the lane. I don't want these minions to reach the tower and let the tower start hitting them. Ryze is very good at last hit at the tower, like I talked about earlier, but even though he's good at it, I still don't want the tower to still CS. Maybe I'll mess up. I'm not perfect, so even when I had him at the tower earlier, I did a poor job. I'm not used to Ryze. I don't play him a lot, so last hit at the tower takes a lot of skill if you're champion. It's one of the hardest things to master if you're champion. So to counteract that, I'll just simply hold the minions here and last hit them with my abilities here. This allows me to make sure I get more CS, and even though I take a little bit of damage, it's definitely worth it compared to how much gold and how much CS I'll get off of just holding the minions here. It also makes it really hard for Anivia to do anything here. She can try to harass me a little bit here, but to harass me at this position would make her completely open to games. So it's a weird, it's a win-win situation for you here. Use my ultimate to make sure I get my little bit of life back. After I build these 3 items that I talked about before, the Tear, the Catalyst, and the Glacial Shroud, I get my Will the Ancient always after that. So that just gives me, I'm tanky, I have a lot of sustain if I will, and it just lets me set in lane and farm. Also, at these low-level games too, it's really important to remember that the game for low-level players really center around mid. What I mean by that is they'll constantly pressure mid. They'll always be there, like especially if they don't have a jungler. Mid is where they always look at. They're always aware of mid. A lot of times you can't get within like the 20-minute mark before there's 4 people mid, even sometimes the whole team mid. So if you're going to play mid at the low levels, you need to really be on your toes with map awareness. You need to make sure that you know when you're safe and know when you're not safe, because 9 times out of 10 you won't be. You'll be, I don't know what the hell this is. A lot of times you won't be safe. You'll actually be getting ganked constantly. So I'm not sure what the hell these little things are. But. So again, just kind of holding the lane here, making sure I get my CS. I'm not too scared of a Nocturne gang. I'm not too scared of a Nivea. So just constantly farming. I'll speed it up just a little bit here. Trying to get. Actually, before I speed it up, I want to talk about what skills I get at what levels. I actually get my Q first, and then I max out my W second. The reason why is because both Q and your W both scale off of mana. So those are 2 skills that will do the most damage. At level 4, I get my E. Obviously, level 6, I get my ult. But then after that, I don't put any more points in my ultimate until at the very end. So I go Q first, W second, my E third, and only 1 point in my ultimate. And the reason why is because by the time I can get my second point into my ultimate, I usually always have Will of the Ancient. So I feel like it's actually more beneficial to get more damage from my spells than it is for my ultimate. So like, I'm kind of speeding up just a little bit. I don't want to miss anything. I'm not sure exactly when like times and stuff happens. I'm just trying to passively farm for my glacial cloud. So bad, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just trying to passively farm, get my glacial shroud here. So then I'll start turning these into items. This game, the Nasus was getting the most farm. So I wasn't really 100% sure which items to get. The game wasn't being too aggressive. What I mean by that, like, all the lanes weren't converging. You didn't see this weird, like, this is more like a high-level game. It looks a lot like a higher-level game because everyone kind of stays in the lanes. Everyone's trying to farm. Normally at low levels you don't see that. You just see a bunch of, like, just converging and trying to get kills. So because of that, I just went safe and I built against my lane. So I build Banshee Spell first here. I think after I get my Will of the Ancient, I get Banshee Spell first, and then I'll build my facial or my frozen cards. Again, I'm just going to kind of speed this up just a little bit more. I'm not sure that more happens in a little while. I know Alistar keeps giving me blue and it keeps blowing my mind. I keep missing it. So that's another thing too. Let's slow it down a little bit more. But as the as a jungler, you want to make sure you're always giving your mid blue if possible. I mean, I know this is a jungle commentary, but even as mid, you need to be aware of that. A lot of times, whenever, especially when I was doing my Warwick commentaries, I'd come up to blue and I'd ping and I'm like, come get blue, and they wouldn't even know what I was talking about. So normally after the first blue, your jungler will give them the mid because it's super beneficial. It allows you to farm in lane a lot easier. Make sure as the mid you're aware of that. This game I do a good job with that. I think I missed him going to blue every single time. Again, right here we see that I know Nocturne's bottom, so I played to the left side of the lane. I mean, it's kind of funny to think that he's going to just like teleport up here and kill me, but still, just a habit. Every time I see the jungler, I always try to play to the other side of the lane that he's on. Right here too, there's a 4-man gank bottom, so the best thing you can do anytime there's a huge gank bottom, if you see your mid leaving, I think at this point she went back and bought and then she went immediately bottom, but if you see your mid like going down through rates here to go bottom, you always want to gank with her. And what I mean by that is like you want to follow her down there so you can counter gank. So when she goes down, it's not a 3v2, it's a 3v3. If you miss it though, however, don't try to run down like as soon as you see them fighting, because a lot of times what will happen is, I see a lot of players do it actually, is they'll see like 3 or 4 people bottom and they'll go, holy crap, I need to help. So they'll leave mid, miss a bunch of farm, get there too late after 2 or 3 of their people have died, and they run into like a 4v1 and they die themselves. They get nothing out of it. They allow the team to get more kills bottom and they miss a bunch of farm. At least this way, I might miss the gank or I might not be able to help bottom, but at least I'm getting a lot more farm than you. And I've denied her so much experience mid. Like, she hasn't been mid for, I don't know, like 2 or 3 minutes. I'm not sure what she was doing, but if you look at the tab here, I have 148 CS to her 80, so like, she's getting crushed in CS, so you know, that gank bottom is almost like a desperation. So again, go back. I just always try to farm for my next item. Again, I think I get probably my revolver here. Yeah, I got a revolver, and then I'm going to build my wealthy H's to give me more lane sustain. So farm. It looks. So again, she ganked bottom again. It was really smart gank. Actually, you know, she pushed my lane up. She saw I wasn't there, so she ganked bottom. That's going to happen. At these lower levels, again, the main thing I'm always concerned with is just farming. I'll stay here and farm passively for a very long time. Okay, so I actually remember this. So here's what's really important to play a lot with your champion. I used to mid for my team, so I'm a little bit familiar with Ryze. I haven't played him in a month or so because I moved to the jungle, but I'm kind of familiar with his burst potential. I kind of know how much burst he can do, and it's really important with your mid champions or any of your carry champions that you kind of know how much burst your champion can do, because a lot of times it can get you a kill. So here I'm getting ganked by Nocturne. Nivea's here. I think there's like one more person here. Yeah, I lost it real quick. There is, yeah, Tarek's here too. So again, you want to make sure you use these brush to your advantage. So what I do here is I poke. Watching slow motion here. Oh my gosh! So I'm poking Nocturne here, doing a little bit of damage. Maybe a little too slow. Do a little bit of damage here. Yeah, it's actually a 4-man game. I come back in. I know I can kill Nocturne, and then I immediately get out. It's actually a horrible camera job, but I know I can kill him just based off my burst. But I know I can't kill anyone else. So instead of trying to kill a bunch of them, try to kill all 4 of them, I make sure I kill the one I know I can, and then get away. I stay when I see that we have ability to get into to get the masses here. So again, I don't want to look into this brush first. It's super important that you always have vision of your brush, and you're a range character, right? So Ryze is a range character. AD bottoms are range characters, so there's no reason to get into melee range of a champion to do damage. You're playing to your opponent's advantage, and you always want to stay ranged. So here I know Nessus is brush. We saw him go in, so I'm gonna let Yi give me vision here. I'm not gonna walk in to bind. I'm gonna allow Yi to give me vision, and then I'm gonna engage at a range. So kind of slows down a little bit too. Really, he just teleports to the brush. So he comes in. Now I can safely attack him from a range. And again, just build my combo here. Try to stay with him. Try to do as much damage as possible. Here I know I can kill him. I know I'm tanky, so I just go ahead and time it. I see that there's three people mid, so I'm not worried about them being here. So I just kind of run in, lose tower aggro, and then walk back through. I don't want to walk this way because these guys might come up. It's really important that you always stay range. You want to stay at a range. You want to play to your strengths, not play to your weaknesses. And I see a lot of players do that. Like they'll see someone go in a brush. They'll see like Ribbon go in a brush, and they'll just walk right in the brush and get stunned and comboed and killed. They would just stay away. Use a ward to give vision. Use anything to give you vision, but just do not use yourself to give you vision when you're range character. Unless it's something ridiculous. Unless you have full HP and the person in the brush has 10 HP or something. Obviously, then it's going to be a little bit harder for them to outplay you. So again, I fell at getting blue here and keep farming. Again, this is really, I really didn't want to do this video because it was so, I just dominated so much. I felt like it was going to, I hate to like show you guys videos of just me pub talking to people. I feel like it's not as helpful, but the reason why I wanted to show this was because it is a 4v5, so I think it's really important to show how well Ryze can play with a good team. Why never to give up, even though it looks like you might be at a huge percent. As long as you outfarm your opponents, you have a huge. You're actually. That's all that matters. All this game matters is securing the resource, which is gold. Just last hit, the objective. Here we go. Absolutely far. Navy does a good job there to try to stop me from holding the lane. But at this point, I got my will of the Ancients, so I can easily farm. Will of the Ancients and blue buff. I mean, so here is another good example. Anivia left my lane, and I didn't go with her. So my bottom gets jumped and killed. I was going down to help. I wanted to help. I didn't want him to die. And then I was like, okay, it was too late. So I went back and just decided to push my lane. Keep farming. At least I can make her lose CS. It was a huge misplay by me, I feel like. If I would have known she was going, I could have helped them a lot more. But again, she had me pushed, and she did a good job of this. Like, as a mid player, you want to try to push through your lane and then go do things. Like, push your lane and go take their blue. Push your lane, go gain top, go gain bottom. And what that does is that makes your mid player, your mid opponent, either come with you, like we talked about before, and then miss CS and get behind, or not come with you, and then you see the results, get a 4v2 bottom. Again, just kind of passively farm. That's a lot of this game, and it's just be passively farming. Get more team fights here. Anything else I can talk about? The boots, yeah, boots is a good thing. So boots is a problem that I have a lot of Ryze, which it's actually a problem that a lot of players have with all the champions. They never really know what boots to get. They should get. Most mids will go sorcerer shoes. With Ryze, I think it really depends on your matchup and how well you're doing. If you're doing really well, go sorcerer shoes. I have no problem with that. If you're struggling with your lane and you're struggling in the game, I suggest Merc Treads. I feel like it's a better choice. It'll allow you to survive fights a little bit longer and win your lane back with that little bit of magic resist. It just depends on how much you're losing. This game I was doing really well, so I go for sorcerer shoes. So here's the fight that I do remember wanting to talk about. I almost let her bait me here. Like, I feel so much stronger. Like I feel like that I'm unkillable. So she goes on me, and a lot of players will do this, especially at the low level. I wish it's kind of at the lower levels, people will do this a lot. They'll see their lane partner go in, or their lane opponent go in, do some damage to them. Engage on them for no reason. So they'll just be like, this idiot. He thinks he can kill me, and they kind of get baited into fighting, and then they get ganked. if you're playing with somebody, if you're playing against somebody who's being super aggressive the whole game, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they just become super aggressive, like Rambo style, that should tip you off that they're trying to bait you into a game, right? There has to be some reason why they think they can all of a sudden kill you, even though you're 4 levels higher than them. So I really let him do that to me. You know, I was like, this noob, this level 4 noob, what's he gonna do to me? And I should have realized, oh yeah, he's trying to bait me into Nasus. Nasus wasn't even top. I failed to look at the map. I made a bad play there. Luckily, I was so tanky and so far ahead, I got away. But if it was a more even matchup, I would have easily died there. So, like I said, it's really important to kind of get into your opponent's head and figure out why he's doing what he's doing. For example, another good example is if you're mid here and you're fighting your mid opponent, you're fighting him, and all of a sudden he just kind of walks this way. I mean, he's probably going to get blue. You know what I mean? So maybe your team can cut him off there, stop him from doing that, or he's ganking top. But you want to make sure that you kind of make those plays. It's how you become a lot better. Try to figure out why your opponent's doing things. I mean, he's not just walking up here for no reason. So again, I'm just continuing to farm. I got my Banshee's Bell first. I had to kind of just make sure I become more tanky for my team. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think Banshee's Veil gives you the most mana out of the big 375. Nope, Frozen Heart does. By a lot, actually. Yeah, so I feel like, I guess if you have to finish one, you take the items first, and you're not sure which one to finish, just finish your Frozen Heart first. Let me see actually the... I think Frozen Heart might be cheaper too. I'm not sure. I'm gonna check that out after I build it. So, and it's something I meant to research a little bit before this commentary actually is if you find yourself to where like nobody's really like in this game. I mean Nasus is the most farm on the other team. I mean, we're sitting at 243 right now, but Nasus I think is the closest to 187. So I guess it probably would have been better to go my Frozen Heart first. But for some reason if I'm not sure, I always build what will win me my lane. Even though I'm already winning my lane, I just feel like the Banshee's Bell. But I don't know. I guess it probably would be Banshee's Bell is good for multiple reasons. But it helps you with ganks, right? Like it's gonna be a lot harder for them to gank if you have Banshee's Bell up. So. Yeah. I feel like Banshee's Bell is almost always fine first. That's just that. Obviously, there's a bunch of AD champions who are destroying you, then you want to go Frozen Heart. Just build to your lane, and if you're not sure, build Banshee's Bell, I guess. That's what I want to say. So again, just kind of passively farming here. Make sure that I keep getting farm. A boring farming game. So again, you see it's paying off, and we're at 260. The closest to us on our team is 192. The closest person on our team is 190. We're so far ahead. It's going to allow us to just easily steamroll people once we get into team fights. Yeah, so after I built my Will of the Ancients, I got my Banshee's Veil. I started doing a lot more survivability. Okay, so this fight here is another. I'll get back to this in a second, but this is another fight that it's really important that you don't get overconfident in the game. Like I saw this fight come up here, and I'm like, all right. These 3 kids, we have 3 of us here. I'm super powerful. At this second, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm super powerful. They're never going to be able to beat me. So I actually get in a horrible position here, and in my mind, I can just come here and kill all 3 of them. I get lucky. I don't believe I die here, but it really could have turned out a lot worse. So my goal here was to ult and do a bunch of damage to all of them. Actually kill all 3 of them here. So instead, I put myself in a bad position by just standing in this ultimate, and get dove on by Nocturne. I very easily could have died right here. I ended up not dying. But when you do get into a position like this, you want to try to make sure you're getting to your safe spot, right? Like you can easily be dived by these people, so you want to make sure you get to your safe spot. I ended up going in here to help save these guys. I actually thought we would easily lose this fight, but my team was a lot more tankier than what I'm used to. Yeah, just stay with my team, use my abilities, Nocturne was here. So again, make sure you always stay at range. You always play into your abilities. Easily turn the tide of the battle. So yeah, that was a really good engage again for us, but it was only because we were so fed. Again, like, if the game was more even, I could have easily got killed right there. You know, I saw 3 kills, I got big-headed. You know, I thought, oh yeah, I'm the man. You guys can't do anything to me. And I go in like all Rambo style and then get dove on by Nocturne. Like I said, if I wasn't as fed as I was, it would be very easy to just get bursted down and die. So again, you want to make sure you're playing your fights a lot better. I mean, up here, you know, instead of walking in directly this way and trying to engage in a fight, I could have easily walked around this way, and that way I was with my Alistar and with my Garen instead of like running in Rambo style. You know, you want to make sure you position yourself into a position of escape. If I came in here as a carry, always, I'm gonna pause the video. As a carry, always, you want to have an escape route. You know? So like, engaging this way was really bad because, you know, my only escape route was towards stuff I know nothing about. If I would have came up this way, then I have not only one path, but 2 paths of escape. If I came in this way and then they came in to flake me, I could have went this way. If I come in this way and then they engage on us here like they did, I could easily escape this way. If they're, you know, if they dive us here, I can escape this way. It's very smart to make sure you're always putting yourself into a way to get away from battles instead of, you know, putting yourself in a horrible position like I was in. Could have easily threw the game there. Could have easily just walked in, died, baited my team to go into, and just got an ace right there. Speed up a little bit. Garen wants to do Dragon here. Pretty boring. I think we might get into a fight here, though. Yeah, I think they want to engage him in this fight. So, you know, I always have to play really safe when I play these games. You know, I don't like to just like run in and try to 1v5 the whole team. If I play a carry, that is. If I play a tank character, I'm always into the fight. But so here, you know, I saw Nasus come up this way. Like, we know Nasus is coming. So my team's chasing Vayne. You know, we don't need 13 people trying to kill Vayne here. So I position myself here so I know that I can cut off Nasus when he comes in. I'm trying to let my team know, like, hey guys, Nasus is coming. Like, let's wait for him here. He's gonna engage on him. He's the most farm person on the team. As long as we kill him, we're fine. We try it here. He does have a Guardian Angel, so if you see a player with Guardian Angel, you want to try to stop focusing that person. Because if you spend all your resources to kill him, it doesn't matter. So you want to, after the other team comes in, like what happened here, you want to start focusing other people. Vayne, your 8, you know, is the second most fed person on the team, so that's who we start focusing. Use my ult, trying to do some damage. Knocked her out of the fight, so I stay on Nocturne. I'm always focusing the closest person to me. Use my bind to stop him here. It's always important to make sure you use your abilities not only offensively but defensively as well. If I wouldn't have bind Nocturne there, Alistar would have easily died. So again, just play safe. Make sure you're not overextending or getting yourself into a bad position like this Alistar does. I think he dies here. I think Nasus kind of bursts down. Oh, this Alistar actually, he played fine. I mean, there's a couple things we don't like. Yeah, he played okay. So we're doing fine. You want to make sure you're always switching your target and not getting into like this weird tunnel vision where you're only attacking the first person you attack. I mean, as a carry, you want to attack the person closest to you that can die the fastest. How I always say it. You don't want to, just because Nasus is right beside you doesn't mean that Vayne that was right beside of us can't die. You know, like, you don't want to burst down the Nasus with Guardian Angel. You want to burst down the Vayne that can die in 4 hits. She's going to do more damage anyways. Again, go back to farming, just buying. Oh, something else I want to talk about too before we get the last fight is Ryze Crystal Scepters. This is what I always get after I build my items. The reason why is because it just gives you tankiness. And the slow is really good. The slow is always good. You know, the slow is just more utility. This gives Ryze more utility. The Giant spell gives more health, more sustain. Also, another thing I want to talk about too is a lot of people. It's actually surprised me how many people feel like that Ryze's abilities don't, the Ryze's ability power doesn't scale that well. I mean, his abilities actually don't scale that bad. I mean, his Q is actually pretty horrible, but his W is not bad. I mean, it's okay to build ability power to him. I see a lot of people that they'll just jump on people like for building ability power items. I actually had a game before this that I played. We had I think it was an early surrender, but I was like 4-0 or something. And they yelled at me for building a Will the Agent. So I don't know, it just surprises me how many people think that like Ryze's ability power scaling is so bad that you should never build an item that has ability power, no matter how good the utility of that item is. I mean, I'm not saying to go buy a death cap on Ryze, but I'm saying that Will the Agents and Rallies is okay to build on Ryze after you build the big 3 items: the Tear, the Frozen Heart, and the Bandage Stone. Just adding more utility to an already champion that has tons of natural utility. So again, going through here, harassing. It's like 4 mid right now, 4 mid, maybe all 5 of them are mid here. I think we actually, this is where we get into a bad engage jungle here. Let's let this boring stuff come out. That's hidden away. That's another thing too that I wanted to talk about with your Banshees though. A lot of people, a lot of players think that once they have their Banshees though, like it's okay to take. Actually, hang on, fight. So here's a really bad engage. I'm gonna explain why. If I can pause this. We get into a really bad engage. First of all, we're split. So first of all, we're going at this point. I think it's 3. Yeah, I think Aaron's here, but he's like glitched out. Yeah, he's right here actually. It's 3 versus 5, and we're already down a player. So what happens is they just quickly kill Yi, and it's a 3v5. It's a really bad engage. So in these situations, I feel like that you should. Well, I'll show you what I do here, then we'll talk about a little more about it. Try to do as much damage as possible, but do it safely and don't get aced. It's really important to not get aced when you're this far behind. But luckily, I think Doctor here got a really good shield. He shielded both our Q and his ultimate at the exact same time. And then I get into this really bad tunnel vision I want to talk about here, and this is the big reason why I talked about this replay. Was like I talked about before, we're already down 4v5, and I'm so tunnel vision to kill this Nocturne that I put myself in a horrible position. You should never dive into a team to get 1 kill. It's never worth it. There's not ever a point to where at this point in the game, 40 minutes in the game, it's worth killing Nocturne to get your team aced. But I go in anyway to try to kill this Nocturne. And in doing so, I put myself in a horrible position. Get engaged on here. I die. I think luckily Garen gets away, I think. Maybe he comes in to help me. I actually think he gets away. Yeah, they killed me here. The only reason they killed me there was because I went in for a Nocturne. I should have immediately seen, okay, look, this Nocturne, we might kill him, but we're all going to die if we try. So, actually, what this Garen done is what I should have done. I should have kind of went in, okay, I can't get him. I'm out. See you later. I didn't, and I got killed. Could have easily turned the game right here. Make sure you don't get tunnel vision and kills. You don't want to. I see it happen all the time at low level. People just tunnel vision on one person. Switch your target if possible, or get out of the fight. Don't ever chase. All right. So again, here I'm gonna speed this up a little bit so I come back.
Has been destroyed.
Sure why.
An enemy has been slain.
So right here I buy potions. I buy a health and a red and a blue potion. Every time that anytime that you're out on your, you've completely got your build. Don't be afraid to buy potions. They're always good. Even at lower levels, don't be afraid to buy potions. They're very good. Elixirs. Just kind of get Baron here and push and win. But yeah. So what I was talking about. What was I talking about? Something I want to talk about, but I got kind of sidetracked with that fight. I can't remember. Here, the Anivia gets caught. Because she gets caught, it turns into a 4v. Because she gets caught here, it turns into a 4v4, and we can easily win. They were on the check Baron, so they let themselves get caught. So here we're just fighting here, securing kills. With your W, you want to make sure that you're getting the right kills. Make sure you're doubling the right targets. You don't want to bind Nasus if it's possible. Oh, okay. So here's something really cool that happens that I kind of made a note that I wanted to talk about. So right here, this Nasus thinks he can kill me. So I have my ult up and I have my bind up. So what I do here is I act like I don't. Right? I act like that I am screwed. And the reason why is he has so much life and so much tankiness that if I turn on him here and start doing a bunch of damage, he can easily just kind of walk away and get to this tower. Let me unbind my camera here. He can easily just walk to this tower, right? So what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to bait him. You know, I'm trying to bait him far enough away from this tower where we can easily secure a kill. So it's really important to kind of know that, like, know that if someone's this tunnel vision onto you, like, just use their weaknesses, use their misplay to make sure you get a kill off of them. Again, I just act like there's nothing I can do, and I bind and get away. Secure the kill. I don't know what that sound is, but also too, the cool thing about Ryze's W, his bind, is it's a lot like a natural, like, initiator, right? Like, a lot of people a lot of players have a bad time focusing players. They don't know who to focus. So, like, a giant rune prison over a target is flashy and shiny, so people focus that person down most of the time. So because of that, it's really important to know that and know what you need to do. Right now, we need to get these towers. A lot of new players only focus on these kills, right? And they'll sit here and they'll dick around for 2 or 3 minutes trying to get a kill on Nivea, and they won't kill a tower. So whenever I'm at, like, a tower like this, or at a situation like this where I want my team to focus on the towers, I stop binding people. Because I know we can easily just kill these 2 towers and win here, so I'm not going to initiate this fight. I'm just going to not bind people. I'm just going to try to force them to attack tower. So a lot of times you can make the team do what you want to do just basically off of your ability. You'll kind of see it here. I'm not going to try to gauge fights that I don't want my team to win. I mean, that I don't want my team to fight. But here, this is kind of desperation. I think they're just trying to kill me. They're trying to get to a spot where they get a kill. At this point, my team's so fed, though, it doesn't matter. Look at the last, yeah, I mean, I'm at 323 here. Pretty cut and dry game, really. Even though it's 4v5, I don't think you can really tell. Okay, so I know what I was going to talk about before was Banshee Veil. A lot of times people, when they have their Banshee Veil proc up, they take unnecessary harass because they're like, well, it doesn't matter, the Banshee Veil will hit it. The Banshee Veil will absorb it. Just because you have it up doesn't mean you want to use it. You want to save it for a gank. I mean, if someone blows your Banshee Veil and then they gank immediately after, I mean, it's really important that you manage your Banshee Veil properly. Here again, I don't really want my team to fight this Nasus here, so I'm trying to somehow bait them into not fighting it. But sometimes like that, they just are gonna go after it. Doesn't matter. Here, we can easily get to that turret. We could have won by now if people wouldn't chase Nasus into the turret and try to kill him. Yeah, so here's another easy, like, another example of, you know, Garen's up here about to die. You know, naturally we're walking up to try to kill him. And then you realize like why the hell are we why are we chasing this Nocturne? Like why do we want to get like why do I want to go 14-1 to have the game last 2 more minutes? I mean, look at the timers. Well, I think these still count down even in the game spawn. So I feel like there were a couple people about ready to spawn. So I'm just like just peel off and in the game. Who cares about that Nocturne? Don't let him stall the game longer. I mean, in this game, it does. I mean, in this exact example, it doesn't really matter, right? Like, they're not going to come back from this game. But I've seen a lot of close games where players will chase a Nocturne till to here, and then all their team has respawned. They get killed, and then that team pushes and wins. Like, just if you have a chance, like these two towers and this Nexus are more important than anything else. So these should be more important than even champion kills. So here we just, I cut out the wave, the minions, and my auto attacks kind of just the game. So yeah, pretty easy game. I'm trying to think. I think I ended that game with like 350 minion kills.
Victory.
The closest person was like 196, I think, or something. Maybe they got to the 200 range. I'm not really sure. I do know that I had over 300 minion kills that game. So thanks a lot, guys, for watching the game. Like I said, just another easy game of just actually does it tell you in here? Nope, does it come up here? I thought it did. Okay. Yeah, but anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching. It's just a good example of showing that with a lot of CS, you can easily overcome a lot of things. Like I said, that game I think it was almost 400 CS, and the closest person on the other team had like just barely 200. I think maybe 250. Because I had that much gold, my character was so much stronger than a lot of theirs, and good team play from the other people on our team, and my super fed state. It was easy just to pull out a win from a game that we had a huge disadvantage being 4v5. So just make sure that you take Ryze, you take them to a couple custom games, and just practice last hitting. It's really important for any carry to last hit CS. Just practice. Get in with the bot and practice. Go in by yourself and just practice CS in lanes. The more CS you have, the better chance you have to win. So thanks a lot, guys, again for watching the video. We also are doing a contest as well. Before I get off here, I want to talk about that a little bit. We're doing a contest. Just submit any replays you have of a game that you thought you were going to win that you lost to leaguedaily@gmail.com, and then post any game any replay that you play Warwick, Ryze, Udyr, Soraka, or Graves with, and have lost as well to leaguedaily@gmail.com, and we'll pick one of the replays to do Monday, and then another replay to do Tuesday, and the two replays we pick will both get $10 gift cards for 10, I guess, 1320 riot points, I think, or something. So thank you guys so much again for watching this. If you have any questions, make sure you post them on the comment section below. And if there's any suggestions or commentaries you would like for me to do, post it on the comment section below. And I'll also be doing a commentary each day leading up to our show premiere April 2nd, which is a Monday. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, had a lot of fun. We'll see you guys tomorrow.